So the main thing I wanted to talk about today being this. Nintendo has their president, as you can see. This is off IGN.com. Nintendo names a new company president. It's TATSUMI Kimishima, and he will assume the role of president and representative director for the company. As you guys know, Iwata died 2 months ago. He had a cancerous duct growth. So, I don't know. You look at this guy's, here, let's go over to Go Nintendo. We have a whole list of his pretty much accomplishments within the company, or within, I don't know, his career in general. So in April 1973, he joined the Senwa Bank. October 1998, he was appointed as the general manager of the Shinbashi branch of the Senwa Bank. December 2000 was when he was appointed as representative director of the Pokemon Company. The Pokemon Company, which is huge these days. June 2010, he was appointed as director of Nintendo of America. And then June 2002, appointed as director of the company. May 2006, appointed as director and chairman of Nintendo of America. I believe one of these roles, I think the director of Nintendo of America, I believe he held that role until Reggie succeeded him in that. And then appointed as managing director, general manager, corporate analysis. He had a lot of stuff here. June 2040, he was in charge of human resources division. So yeah, he's done a lot of stuff in the company. And granted, he's not the next Iwata. People were wondering, we got to get a man like Iwata. Even though just before Iwata died, people were complaining about him, saying that he's the reason for Nintendo failing and the Wii U being crap, and he made E3 terrible and he needs to resign, blah blah blah. But as soon as he dies, everyone's like, oh, he was the greatest president ever. Personally, I never had an issue with Iwata. I've always said this. You can't judge a company by its president. Just like people still do the same thing with Reggie nowadays with Nintendo of America. People are like, Reggie, runs Nintendo of America with an iron fist and doesn't let us get certain Japanese games and this and that, and doesn't let us get the collector's edition, blah blah blah. And it's you look at a company in general, just like you look at a government, the presidency of the United States, for example. How people like to put a lot of blame on Obama, and before Obama put a lot of blame on Bush, and before Bush put a lot of blame on Clinton, and so on and so forth. You gotta understand, when there's a president involved, a president is not the same as a king. He is not a dictator. He doesn't dictate every single thing that goes on within a government or a company. That's just how it is. There's a lot of other CEOs or directors and board people that there's a whole consensus of people that make company-wide decisions. The president doesn't necessarily make all the decisions. Sometimes, there's a lot of times the president is just forced to go with certain things because of the fact that everyone else in the company wants to do something different. And again, like I said, the president is not a king. They can't overrule everyone else. So again, for all the faults that Nintendo has had in recent years, especially Nintendo America, you cannot put the blame on Reggie. You cannot put the blame on Iwata. You cannot put the blame. So if you want to blame them a little bit, that's fine. But to say Iwata was the one leading the downfall of Nintendo and Reggie leading the downfall of Nintendo America it's just silly. It shows you know nothing about how a company is run. And I understand, at the end of the day, it's a game, so you just want to play your games and not understand how the company's run. The thing is, you gotta know, you can't just expect stuff and complain about not getting stuff if you don't even understand how the situation works. It's just ridiculous. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Going back to this guy, they are changing up the company a little bit. I know they kept Genyo Takeda and Shigeru Miyamoto in creative and technological roles. They're sort of like guidance roles. They're talking about how I guess they're going to help out Kimishima and help move the company forward, which I believe is fantastic. Miyamoto and Takeda have had a couple months now to, like, they were stepped into Iwata's shoes suddenly after he passed, and they've sort of represented the company in his absence. They've also done great things with the company. They are obviously more on the technological and creative side. That's something that a lot of people are complaining about with Kimishima. I'm already seeing this. How Nintendo's going to fail because he's not a developer like Miyamoto or Iwata and them are. He's more of a financial guy. But honestly, that's not a bad thing. Especially, like, you really look at the facts here. You got Genyo Takeda in a technological role. He spearheaded a lot of stuff, including the whole Wii and DS process. So it's great for their console and their technology side. You got Miyamoto in the creative role, who he can spearhead the game development, like he's been doing. So that's great. He knows the development side of the software. And then you have Kimishima in the financial role to run the company as a whole. And I believe it's a great balance. I believe you have all three of them in their own little roles, which they're all going to do really well. So, and then you got other stuff here. It's just, it's just, like I said, lots of stuff. Lots of stuff's changing, but at the same time, it is a lot of stuff's going to be the same, because they've also said this, how they won't change Iwata's basic strategy. They are changing their leadership system. Like here it says, the Nikkei quotes new Nintendo boss Kimishima as saying there won't be changes in the basic strategy set up by former President Iwata. Meaning whatever they have planned for mobile, whatever they have planned for NX, whatever they have planned for the continuing of Wii U and 3DS, whatever they have just planned moving forward is going to keep going. They may approach things a little bit differently with it, but that basic plan is going to keep moving forward. He says the challenge now is to identify new projects and cultivate the right human resource to reach Nintendo-like profits again, which understandable. They want to get back to those Wii and DS days. So again, they're going to keep going on the path they are with their software and hardware that Iwata has set up, but Kimishima is going to run things a little bit financially different, so that way they can get back to those profits. Again, like I said, that goes back to that balance I talked about. And then, like I said, of course, they're establishing a future-proof leadership system inside Nintendo. So, like I said, exciting stuff. I'm gonna be the first to. I'm clicking Twitter here. I will probably be the first to say good luck, good sir. I wish you well. I'm very optimistic about the future of Nintendo. I've never had major issues with the company, like a lot of people have. Granted, I'm one person in a world of 7 billion, so I understand that I don't account for everyone. I understand that in order to keep a business afloat, Nintendo needs to get more people on board other than just me and the occasional Nintendo fan. So I do realize that. But I'm just saying, me personally, I've never had issue with the way things are done. I also do feel like while there are some things that the company can improve on, both financially and development-wise, I also believe that a lot of people in the media in general give them a lot of unfair hatred. Like I do believe that, like, if the situation was reversed, if for example Microsoft and Sony went the more casual route, if you will, like kind of like how Nintendo did with the Wii, like if they did the whole motion control, less graphics, less power, no DVDs and media and huge emphasis on online play and stuff, like if they did that last generation, but Nintendo was the one to make a PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 type system, with just traditional controls only and huge online emphasis and mature games and stuff, I still feel like people would still claim that Nintendo is doing something wrong. I don't know why, I just feel like that is because even when Nintendo does try to do stuff more in tune with the other companies, people still bash him, and it's like, okay. So like I said, there are things that can be done differently, but I do believe Nintendo gets a lot of unfair hatred. So at the end of the day, though, this is good news. It means the company can now move forward. They spent 2 months mourning. We've spent 2 months, you know, just being sad for Iwata. But at the same time, they've spent 2 months looking for a new guy. Because, I mean, Iwata was a great man and he will be sorely missed. But at the end of the day, life goes on. For a company, profits go on. Obviously, they will keep him in their hearts. Obviously, like I said, they're keeping his business, the basic plan moving forward. But at the end of the day, they had to find someone new, and this is it. I will say I did not expect this guy. I don't think anyone really did. I personally expected Takeda to sort of step into the role. Miyamoto, I've said this before, Miyamoto would never have stepped into the role. I know he's been teaching the younger developers basically the development tools so that when he's eventually gone, they can, you know, move forward, which they've already been showing, like with games like Splatoon. Splatoon was completely made by Nintendo's younger developers in their EAD groups. So that's right there is a product of Miyamoto's teaching, from the old to the young. So with the way Miyamoto, the way he's been talking lately, he's a lot more laid back. He's just, you know, I just did not see him ever taking the company. But I like the roles. He still keeps his general manager roles, and now he's in the creative position. So it's really great. And Takeda is in the technology position. So like I said, it's all good stuff. All good stuff. I wish Nintendo the best. So yeah. Moving on, we're gonna move on to Pokemon. This is some other news came out. This is all a culmination of stuff I've been wanting to talk about for the past like week or so. Pokemon Z has not been announced. As you guys know, with every Pokemon generation, there's always a third version, red and blue. Well, in Japan, there was red and green, which they had blue. Over here, it looked like our third version was yellow. Then Gold and Silver had crystal, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and so on and so forth. A lot of people expect Z to be the third version of X and Y. Although it is really confusing just because of the fact that the last generation, Black and White, did not have a third version. Instead, they had paired sequels, Black 2 and Y2. So, it's really weird how they're going about this. But Pokemon Z have some evidence with the anime. The anime is being rebranded to Pokemon X, Y, and Z, which shows new forms of Zygarde. It's got like different forms, like it's got a core form, a cell form, a 10%, 50%, and then a perfect form. So it almost reminds me of Dragon Ball Z in a way, how it's got like the percentages, like the Frieza forms, and then perfect form like Cell or something. It's just weird, but it does look really, really cool. Really, really cool. All his forms look cool. Little Blah form looks so cute. But yeah, and I guess the normal form we've seen already in X and Y is the 50% form, which is this one right here. But this is just strictly for the anime they're talking about. They haven't mentioned the game. And supposedly perfect form is a mega evolution, which while the other four are just forms. So that's kind of interesting how they've incorporated both a form and mega evolution into this guy. I've always liked Zygarde. Zygarde being the Z legendary, where Xerneas was the X, Yveltal was the Y. So it's really cool. I've always thought he was a pretty cool design, even with this basic, the 50% one. But these are also just as cool, if not cooler. So yeah. But yeah, it's just there's never been stuff that's been anime exclusive like this. So it really is like, okay, are we getting Z soon, or are we getting X2 and Y2? Like, what is it gonna be? You know, a lot of people are expecting us to get a remake of Emerald, which is never gonna happen. They've never made a remake of a third version of remakes. So I think Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are just gonna stay where they are. But yeah, I don't know. This is weird. Lots of Pokemon news are coming out, like Pokken Tournament's coming to Wii U next spring, worldwide, which is great. If you guys don't know about that, that's made by the creators of, not creators, but the same team at Namco Bandai who makes Tekken. So it's like a Tekken Pokemon fighting game. So that'd be cool. There was no new main Pokemon game for 2015. So 2016 might be the year for Pokemon Z, and then 2017 they'll probably make the new generation, more than likely. But yeah, it's just something interesting. Next we'll go on to Pokemon Go. This is the major thing I really want to talk about a couple days ago. This is coming to smartphones. This is not the first Nintendo/Dina game, but it's a joint production between the Pokemon Company, Nintendo, and this developer called Niantic, which used to be part of Google, but I think about a couple months back or something. Oh, last month they spun out of Google. So as it says right here. So yeah, but it's an augmented reality game where for your phones it comes out next year. They're gonna be doing beta testing in the winter of this year. So it'll be free to play on the App Store and Google Play. So for Android and iOS, what it does is it's gonna basically be able to catch Pokemon in the real world. There's gonna be lots of places you can go. It's augmented reality, so you look on your camera, you go to Paris, you go to the Eiffel Tower, and you look up. In normal human eyes, you just see the Eiffel Tower. Use your camera phone, put the Pokemon Go app, and you might see Charizard flying around the Eiffel Tower, and then you can catch him. I guess that's where they're going with this. There's also a Bluetooth device they're making here. It's called the Pokemon Go Plus, and it's this little wristwatch thing that'll sync up with the app on the phone and show you alerts and let you catch stuff. And yeah, it has like one little button on it. My thoughts on this is it looks really cool, but my thing is, how cool is it really going to be? Like, is it going to last a while? I mean, my thing is, like, first off, it's not going to be the main Pokemon game. They've already said it. In fact, they've gone on record saying that it's going to connect to future main Pokemon games on the 3DS. So whatever you catch here, you might be able to transfer there, as well as maybe with Pokemon Z, next year, maybe they're making that with this Bluetooth feature. Maybe whatever you catch in the real world, like maybe if you go to freaking Alaska and then you find a Obama Snow with maybe certain abilities that can only have in the real world, and you can capture it with Pokemon Go, then transfer it to your Pokemon Z version. That might be kind of cool, but we don't really know a lot about it. My thing is, how good is it going to be with the free-to-play model? I'm always weary of the free-to-play model. Like, I want to know how badly the microtransactions are. That's what I want to know. Pokemon Shuffle and Pokemon Rumble World have done microtransactions great on the 3DS. Pokemon Shuffle was recently released to mobile, and they really jacked up, I think, the prices of some things, and they've made like the hearts and the gems a lot harder to get in the game. So the mobile version is actually a little bit harder unless you pay more money to win. So because this is mobile and not 3DS, I'm kind of concerned in that aspect, because I don't want a game where I have to pay to win. And I just want to be able to, even if there's a full version that we can pay for like $30, like that'd be cool. I'm also wondering how this can be done on the 3DS. The 3DS has augmented reality. Augmented reality does augmented reality great. I don't know. It's just a little bit weird to me, but I'm still excited. I am weary of how long it'll last, though, because we've had other similar games like Pokemon Snap in the past. The only reason I say Pokemon Snap is similar is because you still were you had a camera and you snapped pictures of Pokemon to capture them on film or whatever you want to call it, and that was basically it. Like, a lot of people love Pokemon Snap. A lot of people think it's like an instant classic. Me personally, even back in the N64 game, it seemed very shallow and bare bones. You played it for about 2 hours. You snapped everything. You went in the heavens and found Mew and snapped a picture of Mew, and that was it. Like, there wasn't really much else to do in Pokemon Snap. That's what I'm worried about with this game. Like, will there be a lot to do with it that justifies buying this device and putting time into it. I'm also wondering if they're going to do something like me. Like, I don't have the funds or the time to actually go out and travel to real world locations. Like, I don't want freaking Arceus to only be available in if you go to some shrine in Japan. Like, I don't want that. You know, I want to know if there's like a other way to capture Pokemon besides visiting every famous real world location. That's what I'm wondering about. So, but yeah, like I said, we'll see more. Hopefully I'll have a better phone in the winter, maybe, so I can do a beta on it, because I would love to partake in this, but we shall see. Next we got Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4 was announced by Miyamoto a while back. It was like it was back in July, but the actual announcement didn't come until like a week or two ago. So I think I don't know if they held back the interview or what, because it's the first time I've seen the interview was a couple of weeks ago. But Miyamoto, he basically said the Pikmin teams are always working on the next one, and Pikmin 4 is to be developed. It's very close to completion, and yeah, that's it. It was not shown at E3, probably because they were focusing on Star Fox. A lot of people are wondering what system it's going to come to, because Miyamoto did not announce a system. Everyone's counting the Wii U out, but me personally, I think it's all but confirmed for the Wii U, because you gotta remember, it's Pikmin 4. Like, there's only been numbered entries, the main entries. They're not going to be on a handheld, not going to be on a mobile. It's going to be on a main home console. NX is still very far away. It's still very far away. See, even IGN has said it right here. Given the fact that it's so close to being done, however, it seems likely the Wii U is where we should expect to crop up, rather than the console codenamed NX. And you got to remember, like, the GameCube had two Pikmins, one towards the beginning and one towards the end of the GameCube's life cycle. The Wii U is probably doing the same, you know, Pikmin towards the beginning, Pikmin towards the end. It's also really easy to develop Pikmin 4 on the Wii U, because all the Wii U assets are there. They made the engine with Pikmin 3. They made the development assets with Pikmin 3, the development tools with Pikmin 3, you know, just the assets are all there to make a next game on the system very easily. That's why 2 years later we're seeing announcement for the next game in the series. Whereas if it was at X, it would have been kept under wraps for a lot longer. So then you got articles like this from iDigital Time saying why Pikmin 4 might be like Pokemon Go, and I'm just like, what? Like, they're talking about how it's gonna be like basically Pikmin Go, like it's gonna be a augmented reality game for the phone. And again, I'm gonna go back to, like, it's Pikmin 4. It's a main game. Like, they're not gonna be like, oh, here's a home console RTS, here's the second home console RTS, here's the third home console RTS after so many years, and then 3 years later we're gonna have the Pikmin spin-off augmented reality game, but we're still gonna call it Pikmin 4. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That's not gonna happen. Will it use augmented reality? There's always a chance. There's still stuff they could do with the gamepad, as well as connectivity with the 3DS, definitely. But is it going to be an augmented reality mobile game like Pokemon Go? No. Like, if you think that, like, you're crazy. That's just, you're not going to take a main series and suddenly change its entire gameplay around for a device that isn't even a regular Nintendo device. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Will there be Pikmin games for the mobile, for their mobile plan? Maybe in the future, but it's not going to be Pikmin 4 or 5 or 6 or so on. So it's going to be a spin-off. You know, they're not going to have their main series be reduced to that. They're just not, you know. The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes is getting a guidebook, which I'm actually really excited for. I buy all those other guidebooks. I have the treasure box set of all the other ones as well. I was actually thinking about this just the other day, thinking I should look up on this, wonder when they're gonna have a guidebook, and lo and behold, it got announced today. So there will be a standard version for $24.99 like usual, and the collector's edition for $34.99, which has the hardcover. Probably is going to have the Triforce logo on the front like usual, glowing, and then you get a microfiber cloth featured artwork. So that's pretty sweet. Other than that, it's going to have everything else. You know, all the boss guides, puzzle guides, walkthrough, free mobile friendly e-guide. You know, if you're into that. I'm not. I just like, as a big Zelda fan, I like collecting these guys. So it's really nice to see that. I'm definitely going to see if there's a way I can pre-order it, because I was able to pre-order the Majora's Mask one at GameStop when that one came out. So hopefully I can pre-order this one, because I really want the collector's edition. All Dragon Quest Heroes DLC coming west for free. This just got announced. Dragon Quest Heroes, The World Trees Woe, and The Blight Below. That's a mouthful. As you guys know, it's coming out next month. October, I think, was 13th. It comes out a few days after the Nathan Drake collection for Uncharted. I know that. But, yeah, it's PS4 exclusive in the West. In Japan, I had a PS3 version as well, but we're not getting that version. We're getting this game the same year as the Japanese one. The Japanese one came out, like, I think early in the year, so we're getting it at the tail end of the year, so not too bad. It's not a whole year after, so that's cool. But the fact that we're getting all the DLC for free is amazing, and honestly, it's long overdue. Square Enix has really screwed up the Dragon Quest series and the fan base in America really bad these past couple of years. Like, the last game we really got was Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 2 on the original DS. Nintendo was publishing them on the DS, and they were doing really well with them. For whatever reason, Nintendo did screw up at the end with Dragon Quest Heroes, not Dragon Quest Heroes, Dragon Quest Monster Joker 2 by not advertising it a lot. So, because of that, it didn't sell as well. And since then, Square Enix has not allowed Nintendo to really publish. I mean, I know Square Enix gave them the option a while back. Do you want to publish Dragon Quest or Bravely Default? They chose Bravely Default. And, they don't want to put development costs into something that's going to take so much time to localize because there's so much text, especially for like a game like the remake of Dragon Quest 7. Dragon Quest 7 is over 100 hours long, so much text in that game. But I believe with the right amount of advertising, the series could do well here in the US. Dragon Quest 8 did really well on the PS2, and Dragon Quest 9 did humongously well on the DS. Dragon Quest 9 had a really great advertising campaign, and it made tons of money. It sold millions of copies in America alone. So the fact that both, like I said, Nintendo sort of screwed up with the advertising, but Square Enix hasn't even given the series a chance over here. They haven't even given it a chance, and there's been lots of fans clamoring. Lots of fans have been wanting all those remakes and those other games on the 3DS. 3DS has had like 8 Dragon Quest games that we don't have any of them yet, and they've wanted all other games. So we're finally getting Dragon Quest Heroes. It's a lot like Hyrule Warriors or Samurai Warriors or Dynasty Warriors. It's made by the same team, Omega Force. It's basically a warrior style, a Musou style Dragon Quest game, which is amazing. I've played the demo for it. It is amazing. It's a lot of fun. It reminds me a lot of Hyrule Warriors, which came out last year for the Wii U. So it's going to be a great game. So the fact that we're getting all the DLC for free after Square Enix has screwed up the fan base and the series in general here in America is long overdue, and they owe us that. So I'm glad for that. So that's cool. Last thing I want to talk about is this Kingdom Hearts 2.9 for PS3 and PS4, and Kingdom Hearts 3 info spotted on the Square Enix LinkedIn page. This came out, this is a couple days ago. This was on the 8th, actually. Basically, there was a Square Enix designer who updated the LinkedIn page to include entry for Kingdom Hearts 2.9. It's a title listed for both PS3 and PS4, and then also there's page to stuff on Kingdom Hearts 3, which shows Pixar stuff, Gummy Ship System stuff, and even multiplayer. So, what does this mean? I don't know. Obviously, there's something other coming for the Kingdom Hearts series before 3. Kingdom Hearts 2.9, really weird title, by the way. But a lot of people are speculating what 2.9 is. Like, is it going to be a port for the PS4 of 1.5 and 2.5, like, all together? Is it going to be Kingdom Hearts 3D HD? Is it going to be playable versions of, like, 358 or recoded? Like, we don't know exactly what it is. We don't even know if it's completely real. Because I know someone had said they weren't sure if the account was exactly valid, but I do know Kingdom Hearts 2.9 popped up back during E3 on one of Square Enix's pages, and it was quickly taken off. So obviously there's something there. We'll probably learn more about it at the Japanese D23 or Tokyo Game Show. So we'll have to stay in tune for that. One theory I've seen is Kingdom Hearts 2.9 might be HD remake or HD port of Kingdom Hearts 3D, while at the same time having an episode Duske type demo for Kingdom Hearts 3. And that could be really cool, although I don't know how they could do that in the PS3 version, but I don't know. I really hope it's something a little bit more unique than that. but we shall see. But yeah, guys, that's basically it. That's all the stuff I want to talk about today. Let me know what you think of all of this, and I will catch you later.